reporters. Call for in Columbia University. We should be covering this today. The CBN governor, Nigeria, also be here. I'll be having at the business school today between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. Right. So we should be monitoring this. Stay with us.
Yo estoy de diáspora que is founded by
Only for the start time. Stay running. What's going to be here tonight? And the Central Bank Governor, CBN, and the CBN, what shall be participating in today's program. Four. So at 3 p.m. and to 5, and then 5 for 6:30 to 7 p.m. Central Bank Governors, maybe I shall be speaking.
It's open? Yeah. Thank you.
es muy interesante, pero más es que diáspora, medios de comunicación, focalizados en la africana, pero están muy bien focalizados en la africana. El 8 de junio. No, pero sí, he estado en el diaspora market. He estado en el USA, he estado aquí con el Minority Business. Sí. Y estoy con los que están vendiendo cable del oeste de África y alianza de universidades que se utiliza por primera vez internet del fenómeno que vamos a llevar a África a través de España y Portugal. Permítame que le pregunte una cosa. Usted, si quiere escuchar, ustedes tienen mucho interés. Ustedes tienen medios de Estados Unidos. Ustedes tienen que venir a hablar.
So we have to for them to kick off anytime from speakers.
Yo soy uno de los organizadores y estoy invitado.
Much aggression on economic issues within the continent. There's a mention about reclaiming Africa. I don't know how they're going to go about doing that, but that's basically what they're saying. It doesn't imply, redirection.
Good morning, everybody.
Good afternoon. I've been awake since 6. That's it. We're going to be starting in the next 2 minutes, I think. Marilyn is just trying to put the agenda up for you guys to have it, so we can basically run through it and tell you what we have planned for you for the whole weekend. It's going to be a busy weekend. Hopefully you have fun. I think what we'll start with is we basically want to start with a club president's welcome and welcome you guys to Columbia University. I myself, my name is Uri Talve from Cote d'Ivoire. I'm the president of the African Business Club at Columbia Business School. Frida, my colleague, is going to be speaking as the president of the SPAN network, which is a SIPA Pan-African network. We both basically leading both African clubs at each of the schools. So the reason why we really wanted to have this welcome is basically to kind of give you a bit of background on where this conference comes from, because we don't know how many of you guys come often every year. We get a lot of people coming every year, but for the new people, we just basically want to give you a quick background. I'm not going to be long about it. I tend to be really brief. First of all, the conference is the 9th edition. From my understanding, this started with SIPA. SIPA basically had the initiative of starting this African conference in New York. The idea behind it is basically to get a lot of Africa in one place, help us to connect. The diaspora around the United States is quite wide, and I think 9 years from now, they realized that having everybody hands in hand discussing solutions for our continent was one of the best ways to actually find solutions. Instead of being solitary and working by yourself and going to the continent, meeting other Africans in New York, meeting other Africans in one place, using this forum as an incubator for you to come up with new solutions and new ideas is what we really want you guys to do. A few years after that, the business school basically got engaged with SIPA. We basically wanted to bring more to the idea. On top of the economic development in Africa, we believe that the business side of things was really a priority as well. We have a different perspective. So bringing all these schools, later on the law school joined as well. So bringing all these schools, what happened is we created this multidisciplinary event, which we think is one of the only one in the United States at the moment. A lot of the other schools have business-focused events, economic development-focused event. We also have the African Development Forum, which is earlier in the year. So there is many other events, but this is the only one that basically trying to bring the gap between business, law, SIPA, and also bringing Mailman School. That's Columbia University Health School of Public Health. So we also bring them in. And we do that every year. Last year we had a journalism school involved and everything. So we really try to have this multidisciplinary because we think you need to have people with a lot of different backgrounds, a lot of different perspectives, in order to find solutions, not just one person with one way of thinking. So I'm going to pass it over to Frida so she can give you more details regarding the agenda and what we have planned for you guys. We have another 10 minutes before we move to the next step. So when she's over, if you have any questions, we're going to be here for 5-10 minutes. So don't hesitate to shoot.
Hello everybody, my name is Frida Yalston. I'm the president of the CIPA Pan-African Network, and I'm excited to welcome you all to our 9th Annual Economic Forum. As Arif gave you the history here, we started in 2004 and we are really excited for this year. We usually have over 400 to 500 attendees, and so we are really excited because we have a lot of big speakers today and tomorrow as well. You guys have probably seen on the website, MOV002 is going to be our keynote speaker tonight. Tomorrow we have the AU ambassador to the US, Ambassador Amina Ali. We also have Aruna Ote from the Nigerian SEC, as well as a Minister of Guinea, Minister of Agriculture from Guinea as well. So we have a lot of exciting discussions prepared for you, and we hope that you will engage. I just also wanted to talk a little bit about our theme, Africa Reclaiming Africa. As you all know, Africa is becoming the new hotspot as we have, the economists calling Rwanda the new Singapore, and we have China increasing investment, and our own friends are going back to start businesses. So there's a lot to talk about. There are a lot of challenges that we face. And we want to talk about everything from the creative industries, anybody who listens to Divanj and P Square, we want to, we want to make sure that our intellectual property is addressed. We want to make sure our energy, we're discovering oil in Liberia and Ghana, make sure that we are adequately prepared to address those challenges. So please engage in the panels tomorrow as you go to them, and we will be engaging with you as well. So I just wanted to say thank you for coming, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about today's agenda as well. So first, we have a little light on the schedule to begin with. We will start with the prospective student sessions. Any interests, prospective students here today? Law school, CIPA, business school, okay. So those will be here, first of all, from 3:30 to 5. We'll first have a class with the business school professor on emerging markets. Professor Coley on emerging markets, just so that you get a little bit of a feel of what our professors are like. For the CIPA interested students, after that we'll have a tour of CIPA, the International Affairs Building. You can ask us questions if you have any specific questions about classes or anything of the sort. Then we will move on to Uris Hall to do a formal registration where we'll have our African art exhibition from 5 to 6:15. And then we'll prepare for the keynote speech by Malam Lamigo Sanusi, which I'm sure will be exciting. Everybody wants to go to that, so the masses will show up for that. After that, we'll have our mixer, and you'll get to meet yourselves, actually, network. And finally, this will be off-site, but we invite you to the Afropolitan Social Experience. It's our free conference reception that will take place at Highland Park. So that is the agenda for today. Tomorrow, we'll start bright and early at 8 a.m. at Uris Hall, where we will, if you haven't already registered, well, you can find out more information, pick up your brochures. We'll move on to opening remarks by our co-chairs who are hiding in the back over there, Shode Safor and Ingo Hari, who have been doing a lot of work to pull this together, so thanks guys. And then we will start our panels. We'll have 3 sessions for the day. The first panel session, as you can see, has tourism, gender, trade, and education. Unfortunately, you can't go to all of them, so you'll have to pick one. We'll move on to the morning keynote by Ambassador Ali, and then we will have lunch and our afternoon keynote with the Minister of Agriculture of Guinea. And we'll move on to our next two panel sessions after lunch. As you can see up there, communications, financial services, health, and fashion. Right after that will be the third panel session, SME sector, energy, sovereign wealth, traditional medicine, creative industries. Lady Dion will be there, which I'm excited for. And finally, we'll have our closing keynote from the Deputy CEO of Owando, Omamofe Boyo from Nigeria. After that, we'll have a networking session. So, did everybody turn in resumes who was interested in the networking section? Okay, this companies who will be there will have your resumes on hand. So, this will be a great opportunity for you to bring your business cards and talk to them face to face. Once that is done, we know it's a long day. People will be hungry. So we have dinner for you at our gala. If you registered for the gala, it promises to be an exciting event. It will be at the Low Library, which is just across from Ura's Hall, not too far from here. It's a very grand space, and we're really excited about that. We'll present our alumni awards there, as well as our special guest speaker, Halima Ote. And finally, we'll have our end of conference reception, our after party, to celebrate all the exciting events of the day. So that is a really fast, recap of the two-day conference. Just for your information, we will have booklets for you, so you don't have to remember everything I just said. You can keep track with our conference booklets as well as online. So again, thank you very much for coming. We look forward to an exciting time.
At this point, I think two things. One thing is, for anybody that expected to register at 2 p.m., what we've done is removed all our registration personnel and everybody in the Uris Hall. So when we finish here with prospective classes and the SIPA tour, once we move into Uris Hall for the African art exhibition, you'll be able to register there and get your booklets and get your name tags and everything. I think the second point is, we have another 5 to 10 minutes, so we're going to open the floor to you. We both ready to speak about the theme of the conference, the agenda, the speakers, any other questions that you might have.
First question. Oh, that was just a stretch.
Yeah. So we look for those ones.
Anybody else care to stretch? Yes.
I'm actually a student at Mailman.
Oh, okay.
But for the classes, are they actual classes, or is it just the professor giving like a short little class for this?
The class, it's an actual professor, which I've taken this class. So he's basically going to have classes that are usually 12 classes per year. He's going to have one of his 12 classes here in front of you guys. He's going to make it as dynamic as possible. There is no case to read, and there is no, hidden questions or anything like that. So it is a class where it's a really relaxed, informal class. The professor will be here. He's got a lot of experience in the business school. He's been teaching the subject for a while as well. So he's open to any type of question that you have, even regarding the normal standing or how the class usually works and stuff like that. Especially if you want to move from Elman to the business school.
I'm sorry, we actually forgot to mention that this year we're also doing it in coordination with Mailman School of Health and our law school counterparts as well. Where's Miriam? Okay, and Ruth over there. So not to forget them, they've been very instrumental in helping us organize this. Any other questions?
You guys don't have any questions about the theme?
Is everybody excited? Which I want to hear what people are most excited to listen to over the. Oh, I'm sorry.
Hi, I'm a student, MBA student in Florida. I have a question. Do you guys get future plans to work with other schools who might be interested in this event?
This is, I don't know, on the CPA side of things, in the business school, we've been approached by other schools in order to organize something similar to this and have them involved. This is something that I believe will make the event even stronger. So we open to the opportunity. This year we haven't been able to do so because of logistics and getting people on board and everything. And honestly, this event, the front of the event might look great and good, everybody enjoying themselves and everything works out. The back of it is really hell. And having more schools involved makes things even harder. But so in order to do this, you really need to start early on. And we got approached this year, but we got approached a bit too late. So that's why we didn't do it. But in the future, this is something that we'll definitely be looking to get.
And even just beyond the scope of this conference, I think one of the things that we would like to do a better job of is collaborating with other schools, especially in the Tri-State and New York area, on other events and forums and opportunities, even if it's not this one, after this one. So please let us know. Yes?
When are you going to organize the next one in Africa?
Well,
Question.
that's a great one. Actually, I'm not sure if we plan to do that as of yet, but I do know one conference, actually, one of our SIPA's partners in Africa, which is the Youth Governance Conference, which is doing something similar of this sort, except it focuses on governance. It has started, it's been, this is the 4th year that it is going on, and it usually happens in Ghana, but there's talk of moving it. But it brings students all across Africa as well to kind of do the exact same thing, discuss issues, but it focuses on the youth. So that's one of our partners this year is SIPA, and that might be an opportunity for us to discuss issues in Africa. Any other questions?
I want to know where people are from, the different backgrounds they travel from shit. I'm from Nigeria.
Yes. Yeah,
I'm from Ethiopia.
Ethiopia.
Netherlands.
Netherlands, nice. Zimbabwe. Ghana.
Nigeria, of course.
Yes, Nigeria. Of course. You should take a poll of how many Nigerians are right here. Any other countries not mentioned? Congo, yes.
I'm from DRC.
I lived in Burkina Faso for a couple of years.
All right, you must meet Melanie. She's coming.
We were there together.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Kenya.
Kenya. Right.
I work in Cameroon.
Cameroon. Where's Marilyn? She's outside, I think.
Oh, we have a Cameroon?
Yes.
Biafra.
This is going to be on the interesting conference.
Woo! Alright, anyone else? Yes.
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Yes.
The United States.
The United States of America. Yes.
Well, after the United Nations, we sort of identify ourselves sometimes by bioregion. So I'm a native of Flushing, which is a part of New York City, and therefore the lower Hudson River bioregion. It gives us food, water, and,
There you go. Our environmental perspective. Yes. Anyone else? Yes, sorry.
I'm from Spain and also Canadian.
Spain and Canada. Awesome. Great.
Anyone from
Anybody?
Senegal, Niger?
Guinea.
We have Miss Guinea hosting a gala.
Oh, yes. they do.
To LA now.
Anyone else?
Announcement, is there time for announcements?
Yes, yeah.
I'm chair of the African Union Diaspora Trust Team, and right now we are selecting the representative for economic development. So if anyone here is interested in working in that area, let me know, give me your card, and I'll contact and inform you more data. Thank you.
That is the purpose of these conferences.
Networking at the mixer. Any questions at all, or any interest in panels? Any panels that would like to
I have a
people?
question about creative industries. What does that consist of now? The creative industries,
Yes.
like what type of creative industries are you talking about? Is it technology based or is it design based? Is it
Okay, where's Marilyn?
Where's Mel?
Marilyn is not here. Marilyn is the
Music,
panel manager of the panel, but from my understanding of the breadth of the subject, it will move from music to television, and so good. Music television and movies, it's going to be quite broad. It is not going to be specific to the technology or to the aspect of the means to get to it, but basically the channels you could use to actually create it.
So I just wanted to pull up for you the panelists who are coming in. So from a law perspective, Mark Moby.
So it's really going to be focused on how to protect yourself, making sure that the political bad cases are not happening.
But I think primarily music as well.
Can I? Yes. Yeah, I think I'm just going to add on to what she asked. Is there a distinction between creative and knowledge-based and also traditional ways of doing business? Like,
Sorry.
what I mean, where do you draw the line between creative, is it creative
Industries.
creative industries and traditional industries? What I mean is agriculture and mining.
I think by creative industries, I think she was focusing more on the artistic industries. So you know, our music channels. So while there's still a lot of business underlying both of those, whether it's traditional, you know, agriculture and expanding that into production versus music, I think they both have that in common in the sense that we want to make sure that Africa and Africans are taking advantage of their talent, and it's not just being, you know, exploited or shipped off where they're not getting the credit for it. So while that panel is focusing primarily on the artistic side of it, I think there are implications for both. So hopefully that answers your question.
In some of your agenda, I didn't see anything like African Military Command, but I'm hearing your team is taking Africa back or reclaiming Africa. Is it possible to reclaim Africa without security? In other words, without a military command to protect whatever you're reclaiming? So I'm just wondering.
I mean, absolutely.
The theme is really, what we're really trying to achieve is, to answer your question, I don't want to be, because I could talk about it for hours, so if I'm going off course, just tell me. The thing what we're trying to do by saying Africa, reclaiming Africa, is we're trying to basically empower the people on the ground. The idea behind it is to do it with knowledge, is to do it with understanding of your strength, understanding of your weaknesses, understanding where you can collaborate because you don't have the capacity to do it yourself. But the whole point behind it is to make sure that Africa is at the driver's seat of this path, because it's going to be a long journey, but you want to be at the driver's seat of it. Now, there's many ways that could be done, and we think it could be done we've listed up here 13, 14 panels. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There's 50 different ways of doing this. So I wouldn't be able to,
well, I think also that I think military aspect is a very important aspect of it, and definitely something we thought about as we were trying to create some of these panels. Unfortunately, it's not one of those where we were able to get people that we wanted to speak to. So it's definitely not a forgotten topic. I think that's something that as part of Africans Reclaiming Africa, I think like Arif said, we were trying to focus more on the economic aspects of Africans at the helm of their own futures. However, military is also something that we need to improve, whether it's regionally through our peacekeeping missions and not being so dependent on the UN and other organizations. It's definitely an important topic, just not one that we could cover in the scope of this conference. So.
I think for those of you that registered quite early, when you registered, you would have seen a panel called Peace and Security, and that's what we're trying to to basically talk about, trying to address the fact that we need to basically understand our security capacities and weaknesses and see how we can basically drive that sector as well. We didn't manage to find the right talent that we wanted to have in the panel discussion, so that's why that happened. But in order to basically still address that topic, we managed to secure the African Union ambassador to speak about the theme. It's going to be here tomorrow. If you have any questions, just go for it.
It's time, yes.
Yeah, I asked the question because I know that since Ghana independent, led by the likes of Kwame Nkrumah, under what you call the Pan-Africanism, that was one of the big issues that he raised with the conference in Berlin and European Union and the Warsaw Pact under the former Soviet Union, and since then, the AU or OAU that then became or transformed to African Union seems not to have a concrete or tangible military command, because you can't really reclaim the continent or its resources or its human resources without a military command to be able to protect those resources. And so I think that might be something that you might look into.
I think that would be something that
in the near future, maybe.
Would be good for her keynote speech tomorrow at 10:30. And so we'll have questions after that keynote. And I think it would be a great question to ask them.
Thank you.
I think we got to time now. I'm just going to give you guys another 5 minutes to rest and walk around and mix. Mingle, and we're going to go get the professor.
We'll start our class session. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello. So there were ways issue about military command. Reclaiming Africa might not be possible without a military command. The question of Libya, NATO had to bomb Libya. Just let me ask you in terms of the UN resolution 1973 that authorized using any means necessary to control Libya airspace in the fly zone without actually deployment of UN military troop, what they call peacekeeping forces or force in Libya and elsewhere. The African Military Command becomes less because of the dimension of that one. And we felt it's necessary to raise such question and to know how prepared the students and the panelists are in terms of addressing the issue of security in the continent. So we should be following that up as well with the keynotes and the diplomats from the continent. Thank you. For reporters, thank you so much. That's a key topic. Opera for the moment.